Okay, everyone, welcome to Cooking with Dr. Singh. I'm Kendra Clark with the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us today. Funds raised today are supporting regional Aboriginal mental health services and the Urgent Care Fund for COVID-19 at your hospital. Your participation in this event has raised nearly $12,000, which is generously being matched by Dr. Singh with a $10,000 donation. That's a total impact of nearly $22,000. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Singh. You are enhancing healthcare close to home. It's now my pleasure to hand over the screen to your culinary guide and genius, Dr. Singh.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the cooking class. I hope everybody can hear me. Those who don't know me, I'm one of the general surgeons at the North Bay Regional Health Center, and cooking's been a real big passion of mine since I was a young kid. My mom started teaching us when we were about 9-10 years old, and since then it's become one of my biggest passions in life, and I hope you'll enjoy this class. It's going to be Indo-Jamaican fusion. So we're going to make tandoori jerk chicken tikka masala and a banana coconut curry, spicy pineapple mint salad. We're going to make some Indo-Jamaican rice, and we're going to make some naan as well. I'm hoping most people are prepared, and the class will go more smoothly with the preparation. Okay. So hopefully everybody prepared their yogurt dish. So this is the mixture and blend of the yogurt dish, and I just garnished it with a bit of mint. Yogurt's important in our culture in terms of, because we eat spicy food, we need something to dampen the spice if it gets too spicy. And yogurt is a very common side dish with Indian meals. The other thing yogurt is good for in the summers is they actually water down the yogurt and make it into, which is the traditional lassi that you'll see on the menus at Indian restaurants. So it's a watered down yogurt, and you can add any flavor to it. The most common flavoring they do in India is salt and pepper, basically, and they'll add ice cubes, and it sort of quenches the thirst in the summer and the hot weather there. You can use it as a side dip, or you can eat it as a serving as well, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So that's the yogurt dish. That's what it should kind of look like, and you can garnish it with a bit of mint as well. So the next thing is the pineapple salad. So hopefully everybody cut their pineapple salad up, and hopefully everybody sort of short-term pickled their red onions. If you have a strainer, you can strain the onions and remove all the liquid, for example, the water, lemon, or lime juice, and just have the dry onion. And we're going to put that into the pineapple directly. So then I'm going to add the bit of mint. I believe it says 1/8 of a cup, but whatever you think it's reasonable. Not too much mint because it's a strong flavor, so a little amount is fine. Coriander is big in the Indian cooking. There adds a bit of coriander to it, but there are some people who hate coriander. It tastes like dishwasher soap, I think, to some people, and I think that's a genetic thing. If you don't like coriander, you can substitute it with basil or parsley or any of those other kind of flavorful leaves to the salad. We'll just mix it up. And we'll just leave it and let it sit. You can add more salt if you want, but remember we pickled the onions with a bit of salt as well. So you don't have to add any more unless you want to. And the spice is there from the chili if you want to add chili, but you can add anything else to it if you want. Pineapple is always good in the summers because it's cooling. So this is a mixture of sort of spicy onions, and having pickled onions as a side for Indian dishes is pretty common as well. And we actually have side dishes of raw chilies that we'll eat as we eat our meals. We'll just chew on a chili, and that's pretty common too. And hence, I added a bit of chili to the pineapple salad. So you can let that sit. We're done with that kind of mixing up. At the end, when you do garnish the salad, you can crush up the banana chips that I asked people to get, and you can add a bit of that to the salad. And it's almost kind of like a fattoush salad in Lebanese cuisine, where they add sort of baked pita to the salad. It's called the fattoush salad, so it's kind of a similar idea as well. So we'll show you at the end how it looks when it's garnished. The next thing I think we should do is we're going to stir fry the chicken on high heat. So you've already got the pan or pot or frying pan. I'm going to use frying pans. I'm going to multitask, but I'll start off with the chicken first. Okay. So you should have your frying pan or pot on medium heat to sort of heat up the oil. And we're going to add our chicken. This is the marinated chicken everybody prepared overnight, and the spices should be hopefully all soaked into the chicken and sort of tenderize the chicken as well. Now I want you to turn it on high heat. So we're going to sear this. We're not going to fully cook it. We're just going to sear it on high heat. And we're just going to set it aside until we make the base curry. So turn your pot on high heat, and then we're going to sear the chicken, and then we'll set it aside. In the meantime, you can have another pot with your mixture of onion, ginger, and garlic, and Thai chili or whatever chili you want to use. You can sort of set that in a pot as well. And then for the rice, you can do the same thing. A bit of cumin seed and a bit of onion in a pot or a frying pan, and just set it aside as well with a bit of coconut oil in both of those. We'll go a bit slower since the camera is lagging a bit. Can you take some questions?
Yeah, some folks asking if they should be keeping their yogurt dip in the fridge until they use them, or if they should leave it.
Yeah, you can put your yogurt dip in the fridge if you wish. You can leave it out as well. Doesn't matter.
Another ask, slow down the fridge.
Okay.
What's your favorite dish to make and eat?
So the question is, what's my favorite dish to make or eat? I love making curries of all sorts. There's no particular dish I like making, but if it's curry based, then certainly, I love making different kinds of curries, creating different curries. So I'd have to say curries for sure. So once the chicken is on high heat, you're just going to stir it vigorously until everything's seared, basically. There's no onions in the chicken, it's just straight chicken. We'll get to the onions in a bit.
This is one of those use those vocal cords. I think that's why they're having hard time.
Ah, can you guys hear me now?
If you have liquid left in the marinade, you can drain it off.
You can drain the liquid in the marinade. You can also add it because on high heat it'll evaporate.
Carol and David asked who's drinking wine while they're cooking.
I can't because I gotta be standing straight.
We're just taking a little Band-Aid break.
Yesterday's injury, preparing. How's everybody doing? Give me a thumbs up if you are.
Looking good, Doc. Smells good already.
Here we go.
Are we just doing the chicken now? Did I miss anything that concerned about
Don't worry about the other pans. I was just preparing ahead of time in terms of having my other pans ready. Normally I would have all three pans working at the same time, but since this is a class, I have to sort of hold back a bit.
Nothing was done.
This apron was given to me by my niece and nephew actually. And I think I inspired them to cook, and I heard they cook really well actually.
Want to share your favorite memory?
The question is, what's my favorite memory of cooking? And I think it just has to be cooking for the family when I was in high school. My dad would always ask, you know, if I could cook dinner, and that was a very big boost for me to keep pursuing cooking, and probably one of the best memories. How's everything with the cooked chicken? Should be almost seared. We'll give it another few minutes for the chicken and set it aside. You don't want to pull it, you want to cook it too full or complete because we're going to add it to the curry and it'll cook in the curry on low heat.
Get it? We mute us. We're muted.
What's your favorite thing about North Bay?
So the question is, what's my favorite thing about North Bay? I don't know how it relates to cooking, but being in North Bay, you know, it reminds me of where I grew up, Brantford. Small town, 75,000 growing up. Could get across the city in 10, 15 minutes. The good thing about North Bay, there's lots of outdoor stuff to do, whether it's water things, you know, hiking. Love that the golf course is only 5 minutes from work. It has everything you need with the peacefulness of being the country basically.
some folks are concerned that there's a lot of moisture, more moisture in their pan. But it's a little bit funny.
In my pan or everybody
Or in
else's?
their pan.
Don't worry about the runniness because that's just the moisture from the chicken leaking out, and you're going to put it in the curry anyways, so that liquid doesn't really matter.
Carolyn David say, did you say Brantford? Brantford has an amazing Italian restaurant.
What's the Italian restaurant called, Carol and David? You can take the chicken off the stovetop. Turn down your stovetop to medium. If you can get 2 burners going, great. In the first burner, we're going to make the base for the rice. So it's going to require the 1 small onion and the cumin seeds and the coconut oil. So you're going to put that on medium heat, and then you're going to stir this until the onion is sort of transparent or light brown, basically. And you're going to do the same thing with the base of the curry mixture, which has the onion, ginger, garlic, and chilies if you wish, and also cumin seeds and the oil, coconut oil. Again, you're going to do this on medium heat as well. This is the coconut oil I used. It's an organic coconut oil, and it tastes pretty good actually.
How do you feel about gas versus induction heating for your stove?
I have no opinion on stovetops and types, whether it's gas or induction or ideal would be a fire pit and having a tandoor outside, but
Carolyn David say Cafe Andreo in Brantford.
I haven't heard that one.
Where do you recommend getting spices?
So spices, ideally, you can get them anywhere now. Most places will add Indian spices. So Freshco, if you're ever going to Toronto, there's lots of Indian grocery stores you can get spices from. But most of the grocery stores will have most of the spices that you need to do Indian food, basically. So on medium heat, I want you to stir fry this onion until it's transparent or sort of light brown with the cumin seeds. And you're going to do the same thing with the other pan. This is going to be the base of the curry.
You know where to purchase methi?
Methi, M-E-T-H-I. The other name for it is actually fenugreek. So you can get fenugreek, and you can either dry it yourself and use it, or you can buy methi in frozen form as well. And yeah, so it's called fenugreek in English.
For the base, onion, oil, and what else? The next class.
So for the rice, the base is just onion and cumin seed. So 1 small onion and cumin seed and coconut oil or any type of oil, cooking oil. The base for the curry is your ginger, garlic, onion, the chili, and cumin seeds with the cooking oil.
tandoori masala spice, or do they still add the garam masala?
Yeah, it's the garam masala we're going to add as well when we cook the curry. How's everybody's onions doing in terms of the transparency and the color? We'll give it a couple more minutes for the onions for the rice.
Ginger oil.
Garlic and chili.
My house has never smelled lemon.
There's lots of aromas for sure with Indian cooking. One of the best memories I ever had was going to India and eating omelets every day in the morning from like one of the street vendors. And I still remember that smell with the butter and omelet cooking. And that has to be one of the most vivid memories I have. I was probably 3 or 4 years old. And don't ask me how I remember that event when I was 3 or 4 years old.
People are asking me to slow down.
What, you want me to slow down and apart?
I think you're messaging me. Why do you use medium heat instead of high heat for the onions?
Good question. Why I use medium heat versus high heat? Because especially for the mixture with the garlic, because if you put it on high heat, the garlic gets burnt and it tastes very awful. So cooking things on medium heat ensures you don't burn anything and you don't get that awful taste. So that's why I do things on medium heat, basically.
Carol and David say it makes first your onions as well.
Yes. How's everybody's onions for the rice? Are they transparent, light brown? If they are, if everybody's ready, I'll go to the next step.
Carol and David say onions all set. Val Hunter says there are 2 frying pans with onions in them right now.
Good. So who's ever onions for the rice, which is just onions and cumin seeds, if they're light brown or transparent, you're going to add your 1 cup of chickpeas and 1 cup of kidney beans to it. Okay? Now the reason I'm putting beans in it because Jamaican rice traditionally has some kind of bean in it, and sometimes we'll see with Indian rice it'll have onion and cumin seeds. That's why I thought it would be a good combination and good pairing with the beans and the onion basically. Yeah, so this pan here, we sauteed the onions with the cumin seeds and coconut oil until it was light brown or transparent. Then I added the 1 cup of chickpeas and 1 cup of kidney beans. Ideally, they should be cooked, so whether you got canned or you bought them whole and cooked them. And then we're going to stir fry for a bit.
Richard says, I got bandaged from cooking and surgery.
This bandage was from yesterday's prep, opening up the coconut milk can. I'm sure people have cut their fingers on cans before while opening them up. So stir frying this for a few minutes, and then once it's kind of stir fried for a few minutes, the options for cooking the rice are variable. You can do it on the stove top. People can put this mixture with the rice in a rice cooker. Whatever you feel comfortable with in terms of cooking the rice. You can add this mixture to it. I'm going to cook the rice on the stove top, so I'll show you how to do that and how I sort of make rice with this mixture.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
So some people can't hear. Hopefully they can hear me now. So this mixture we're going to put in the rice. Whatever way you cook rice, whether it's in a rice cooker or whatever method, you add this mixture to the rice and cook it. I'm going to cook it on the stove top. This is what we traditionally do. And I'm going to add the rice to this. And then I add usually 1.5 times the water. And I'll explain the rest of the steps after that.
Do you prefer dried or canned?
So growing up, we used to soak our beans the night before and cook them in a pressure cooker. So that's how we used to cook our beans. How's everyone doing? Any concerns?
Yes, Janet, I'll speak louder.
Your mic's off, right?
Yeah, I need this one because some of you do that.
Got it. Is everybody at this step?
What proportions water to rice?
Proportion water to rice, if you do it on the stove top, and if you use traditional basmati rice, it's usually 1.5 times the water to the number of cups of
Can you just confirm there's no rice in there yet?
There's no rice in this yet.
Peter and Ella says, you.
I'm actually gonna add a bit of salt to this. So like a 1/2 teaspoon, basically.
Some people are concerned what to make for supper tomorrow after the meal.
Well, if you don't have leftovers, then I'd say you have a really good appetite tonight. You should have leftovers, depending on how many people you're feeding. This should feed about 4 people. 4 to 6. I'm gonna add my rice. Is everybody ready for that?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
This is 2 cups of rice. I wash my rice. So this is 2 cups of washed rice. just going to add it directly to the pan. Then with 2 cups of rice, this is 3 cups of water. So it's 1.5 times. You keep it on the high heat. You keep this on high heat. Once it starts boiling, you turn it down to low to medium and cover it. So we'll wait till this boils and we'll do the other part.
Courtney is asking to confirm the rice is uncooked in that pot right now.
The rice is uncooked, yes. We're going to cook it now. That's why we added the water.
Janet Ireland wants to know if she can come over if she didn't have a chance to prepare to eat.
Yes, there'll be lots of food here tonight, so if anybody wants to come over, they can.
Annie would like to know if they're supposed to have extra coconut milk than what is in the puree.
You can add as much coconut milk as you want. I used 1 can, which you can buy from the grocery store. But you can adjust the amounts whatever way you wish going forward. It doesn't really matter. You can use less chicken, but you have to adjust sort of the amounts of the other things as well.
Kristen Danu is asking if you can go over what's in the frying pan right now.
So we started off with this frying pan. We sauteed the onions with cumin seeds and olive oil. Then once the onions were light brown or transparent, I added the 1 cup of chickpeas and 1 cup of kidney beans. Stir fry that for a few minutes. They should be cooked already, the beans. Then I added the rice, whatever amount rice you want to use. For the recipe, I think I said 2 cups. And then you add 1.5 cups times more water compared to the rice. Now, as you can see, it's starting to boil, the water. So this signals me to turn it down to low and cover it. So low to medium heat and cover it.
I think there's a lot of people on their way over for dinner now that you've offered.
There you go.
They're bringing wine. Liv Babras will be here in 4 hours.
Liv, I'll give you a gold medal if you can make it tonight. So I'm going to put this on the other burner so that I can show you how to make the base curry. Okay? Everybody's happy with this? You got to periodically check it so you don't burn the rice. It's on low heat, so it shouldn't burn.
Yes, Kristen, the rice is uncooked.
Yeah, the rice is uncooked in there. So that's what we're doing now. We're cooking the rice on the stove top with water. This is how you make traditional, what we call biryani as well, B-I-R-Y-A-N-I. You've probably heard of chicken biryani, vegetarian biryani. And that's just a rice dish with other ingredients in it. I chose the beans because Jamaican rice usually has beans in it.
You are invited to come and do taste tests at everybody's houses.
That'd be great. We've actually thought about doing an event where everybody makes their own curry and brings it like a potluck. And we'd have a contest and, you know, judge everybody's curry. We've thought about that idea. So hopefully everybody's ready for the next step, which is the base of the curry we're gonna make. So this is just the onions, ginger, garlic, cumin seeds, cooking oil, ideally coconut. And then if you want to put chilies in it to make it spicy, that's an optional thing. I put 3 red Thai chilies in here because I like my food hot. And again, you're gonna do this on medium heat until the onions are light brown or transparent.
Everyone likes the curry cook-off idea. Greetings from Florence and Cam Hunter. They're having our cookout out at the cottage.
Hey guys, Cam and Florence. I hope things are going well at the cottage. Hope you guys have all the utensils there. Another story I remember our mom telling us, I think I was 3 years old and my brother was 4. And she quickly went to the corner store, which was right across the street from our house, back in Brantford. And when she got back, my brother and I had put a pot on the stove and threw anything we could find in the kitchen into it. So whole potatoes, whole onions with the skin on it. We put water in it. We turned the stove on, and she could have been reported to child services, but she was quite surprised we were like that creative and kind of misbehaving in that sense. So cooking has been sort of deep down inside of us, and my siblings cook as well, and I think we owe it to our mom, who would force us to stand beside the stove to learn how to cook traditional Indian food. And growing up, because my parents were immigrants, there was a lot of immigrant families from Italian to Polish, and my mom growing up would try to create fusions with all the other kind of cultures in the area. And that's what inspired myself as well to, you know, start cooking fusion meals as well.
People would like to start a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, wow.
Just confirming that those are the same onions that were on the stove cooking a while ago.
These are the same onions I told people to put on the other burner. Once these are sort of golden brown or transparent, what we're going to do next is add the tomato puree.
Can you remind everybody what's in that pan?
So this pan, again, has onions, the garlic, the ginger, cumin seeds, cooking oil, whatever your favorite cooking oil is. And we're sauteing it on medium heat until the onions are light brown or transparent, basically. I like to get them sort of light brown. It gives them a nice flavor and taste, basically. This should be your puree for your tomatoes and tomato paste. The word tikka masala actually means it's sort of a red colored curry. And this will give it sort of a red color as well. And plus the marinade that we use for the chicken will make it sort of a red color as well. So is everybody's onions sort of light brown or transparent? You can go on the next step.
So onion, oil, onion, garlic, ginger, cumin seeds, and chili in there.
Yeah. Chili's optional if you don't want to use it.
Next, tomato purees in.
Okay. So we're going to add the tomato puree in it.
Have we used the garam masala yet?
We haven't used any spices yet. So now this is where we add the spices. So get all your spices. Here's the salt. So 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to be brave and add more spice. You don't have to, but this is the red chili pepper powder. I'm adding a ½ teaspoon. This is the garam masala. You're going to add 2 teaspoons of that as well. This is turmeric. Again, two teaspoons.
Two teaspoons of chili powder.
½ teaspoon. So this is what it should look like. And you're going to mix it up and turn it on high heat.
Can you remind what's going on with the rice, folks?
Yeah, so make sure you check on the rice. The water should be drying up, and you can stir it as it dries up. As long as you keep the rice on low heat, it shouldn't burn.
Garam masala is a blend of spices, correct?
Garam masala is a blend of spices, that's correct. So it has cumin, coriander, cinnamon, has cloves, and it has black pepper. Every culture has its own 5-spice or blend of spices. And even there may be variations of the garam masala as well. Some people may add nutmeg to it or any other kind of spice, but it's usually a mixture of spices. So this is going to be on high heat. You can cover it for a bit. I add a bit of coriander to this as well, just so it mixes in well, basically. So high heat, we're going to do that for 5 minutes. I'm going to cover it.
Carol and David made all their spice mixes themselves.
Wow. So some people made their own spice mixes, which is great. And traditionally, that's what we did in our household in terms of the garam masala. The spices for chai, we would make at home, buying all the different ingredients and blending it together. Yeah, that's great if you could make your own spices. I think Dr. Demitrash says she's going to make her own jerk spice because she couldn't find anything in the city, basically.
They're asking, keep the curry on high.
Keep this on high for 5 minutes or so.
Cheryl, there hasn't been any use of coconut milk yet.
The coconut milk, if you did your homework, should be in the puree with the coconut milk, yogurt, the butter, and the cream, and the banana.
I'm assuming this is Dr. Dimitrish. Way to out my procrastination, Ravi.
There you go.
My curry isn't nearly as watery. How did Dr. Singh get his so watery? Mine is chunky.
That's fine. It depends how you puree the tomatoes. If your curry is watery, it doesn't matter. It's on high heat, so some of that water will evaporate. And you want to stir this periodically on high heat so it doesn't burn. Mine's not really watery. There's chunkiness to it, so. Gotta check on the rice too, periodically stir it. And then once the rice is cooked, then you just shut it off, basically. There's a lot of procrastinators yesterday. I got a lot of texts. I can't find any spices, so I had to lend some out.
Everyone's joking around about the calories in the coconut milk mix.
You only live once, so sometimes you can have, you can indulge in any type of food, right? And if you have a gallbladder attack, I have lots of friends who can deal with it. So I want you to turn this down to medium heat again.
Someone's claiming responsibility for the lack of jerk spice at Bins and Bins. They bought the rest.
I remember walking into Bins and Bins in Bulk Barn, and I said, you guys should stock up because there's going to be a cooking class at the end of the month. And I guess they didn't listen to me.
Carol and David say, drumming up business, shameless.
So turn this down to medium heat. Now we're going to add our chicken. And now we're going to add the high calorie pureed coconut milk, yogurt, butter, cream, and banana, basically.
Can you just repeat what you did there?
So I added the chicken first, then I added the puree or the blend that everybody was supposed to do, which was the yogurt, the cream, the butter, coconut milk, and banana. I'm going to add the coriander at this stage as well.
Liv said this should go well with my beer.
Did he buy the right beer? Did you buy the right beer, Liv?
Isn't he driving here?
So now you can cover it for 10 minutes or so, and I'll cook the chicken in this curry sauce. I'm going to check on the rice. The rice should be almost done. And that's what the rice should turn out to look like. The water should be dry and the rice almost should be cooked. If not, you can still leave it on the low heat for a few more minutes if the rice isn't cooked yet.
Erica Hayden says, have a beer for me, please. I have to work tonight.
Yeah, I think everybody should have a beer on Erica's part, since she's working a shift, I guess.
Liv, if you'll be here in the fall, I hope you drop by and say hello at the hospital.
So while we're waiting for this to kind of simmer on medium heat, you can make your own naan if you have time, or you can buy some. You can warm these up either in the microwave or on the stovetop, which I'll probably do here. So you can get a flat frying pan, or you can do it directly on the stovetop if you want. And sometimes I'll do that as well. Medium to high heat, you can just set it on top like that, and make sure you turn it over so you don't burn it.
There's lots of liquid in my chicken. Will it thicken?
So the curry is supposed to be liquidy. You don't want it to be watery, but you want to have some thickness to the liquid. You can dry out the curry by putting it on high heat and taking the lid off. And when you do put it on high heat to dry it out, you have to stir it constantly, otherwise you're going to burn it. So you can dry it out more by taking the lid off, turning it on high heat, but you have to stir it constantly, basically.
Carol and David is just asking what they do in the microwave.
So you can warm up the naan in the microwave if you want for like 10, 15 seconds.
Jason Thomas asks if they're supposed to have a bottle of wine down already at this point.
Jason, you should have 2 down by now.
Sarah and Ray say they hear that naan on a big green egg is spectacular.
And that brings another point. The chicken, you can cook it on stovetop if you want to barbecue it a bit to get the grill. If you want to fry it a bit to get the crispiness, you can do that as well, but you don't want to fully cook it. You just want to sear it somehow. That way when you add it to the curry, it'll cook fully in the curry.
Jason is on bottle number 2 as we speak.
Funny guy, Jason.
Carol and David, you are doing it right on the element, question mark?
I was warming up the naan right on the element, which you can do. Traditionally, we'd either do it on something like this, like a flat frying pan, or something like this, where you would put it on the stovetop and just put the naan on top of here. So you can buy these from, you know, any store basically. So the curry should be bubbling a bit on medium heat. You can stir it a bit, and then you just want to put it on the stovetop until the chicken cooks. So it shouldn't take too long to cook. I'm going to do a taste test to see how it is.
Andrea Ryan is asking if we've added the dried banana chips to the pineapple salad yet.
The dried banana chips you can add per serving, whoever's eating, on top of their salad, as needed, basically.
Carol and David asked who's doing cleanup.
I think I'll get Kendra to do the cleanup here tonight.
I've had a few free meals, that seems fair.
There you go. But yeah, a lot of people don't see with cooking the prep plus the cleanup afterwards, right? They don't see all of that, what it entails to cook actually meals.
Liv says your mother is going to be cleaning up.
My mother's taking care of the dogs, so she's off for cleaning, basically. For the naan, hopefully you melted a bit of butter, added 1 minced clove garlic, and a bit of parsley, or you can add fenugreek or whatever you want. So I'm just going to put this on top of the naan.
Janet Ireland says she loves everything but the banana and the curry. Is it okay to leave it out? What does it add?
Good question. Can you leave the banana out of the curry? Yes, you can. The good thing about that is if you make this really spicy, the banana actually sweetens it up a bit, and you can actually taste the different distinct flavors of the spiciness and the sweetness, and that's what I like about this curry. Bananas is important in South Indian cooking. They use a lot of bananas to make banana curries. And in Jamaica, they use a lot of plantains. So I couldn't really get plantains here. So bananas was the next best option, basically.
We heard you have a new puppy.
Yes, I do have a new puppy. His name is Hugo. He's 9 weeks. I have another golden retriever. His name's Victor, and he's 6.5.
Lisa McFarland says to use plantains if you're not a banana fan. Independent has plantains.
Oh, there you go.
What does the fenugreek do?
Fenugreek is just another herb that you can use, and it's commonly used in Indian cooking, basically. So once this starts boiling the curry on medium heat and the chicken's cooked, you can basically say this curry is done. Again, if you want to make it less liquidy, I like my curries a bit liquidy. You can turn on high heat for a few minutes with the lid off to sort of evaporate some of the liquid.
Everyone's asking to see the dogs.
Maybe at the end.
So I understand there is a little bit of a power outage blip at the north end of the city. So some folks are still at the naan stage.
Mm-hmm.
It is being recorded and will be sent out tomorrow. But maybe you can just remind everyone that what they may have missed. So they were cooking the naan when they lost power.
Yeah, so those who warmed up the naan, because they're already cooked from the grocery store, all you have to do is warm it up. And then the butter mixture from yesterday's prep, so you melted some butter, added 1 clove of minced garlic and some parsley. I added a bit of fenugreek to this as well, and then all you do is spread it onto the naan after it's heated. So it should kind of look like this.
some folks are commenting that their curry is not as yellow as yours. It's more orange.
That's fine. It's probably just the lighting in the camera if it looks orangey. Mine looks orangey as well, but it must be just the camera. The lighting of the camera. But you can see there's different hues. There's orangey hues here, yellow hues here. So it should look the same because we all use the same ingredients, basically.
What are you doing right now?
So I'm just starting to plate my meal. Most things should be cooked by now. Most things should be cooked by now, so I'm just starting to plate.
The Peachy family says bon appetit.
Hi, Peaches. Hopefully it turned out well.
Tara Blake says she thinks she missed a step. What do we do with the yogurt, cucumber, banana blend?
Nothing. I just add a bit of garnishing to it. This is for Tara Blake. I just added a bit of garnishing to the mint puree banana yogurt. And that's just a side dish to dip your naan in or eat it if you find things too spicy.
I've drizzled a little bit over the curry in the past.
I'm just going to take this out so I can put the plating down.
Everyone is excited to dig in. Judy, what red sauce are you asking about specifically? The tomato puree.
Yes.
What about it?
Somebody has a question about the tomato puree.
I think maybe they missed the step to add it to the curry.
So the tomato puree for the curry should have been added to the onions once they were kind of light brown or transparent. But it's not a negative if you didn't, because some curries don't have that tomato puree, and you can still make the curry with the spices. And plus, since we added the puree of the yogurt, coconut milk, etc., it'll still turn out okay and taste good. It just won't have that tomato-based base to it, basically. But there are curries we make without the tomatoes, and it should still work out fine if you miss that step.
How many of us will need their gallbladders out tomorrow?
Hopefully not many, because it's just a small amount of butter and cream. You know, considering how much you've made and how much you're going to eat of that, you shouldn't have a large quantity of that.
Andrea, welcome back from camping. We'll be sending out the video recording tomorrow as well. Everyone's saying it tastes amazing.
Great. So this is my plating. This is my plating, basically. So you have your curry here. What I did was I added some coconut shavings to it to add a bit of texture. And I topped it with a bit of coriander. Okay. Here's your salad, pineapple salad with the crushed banana chips. Okay. Here's your yogurt. And that's it. So please take a picture of your plating and send it to Kendra or tag North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation to win a prize. And that's it, folks. Any questions?
People want to see your face.
My face? Why do they want to see my face?
If you want it thicker, could you just use the tomato paste and no tomatoes?
Yes, if you want the curry to be thicker, you can certainly just use the tomato paste. But again, it'll still be a bit liquidy because you're adding that puree of yogurt, coconut milk, banana. So it'll be still a bit liquidy, but not as much as if you just add the tomato paste.
Can you just go over the naan from the naan on quickly one more time?
Yeah.
Some people are still just reconnecting after their little outage.
So with the naan, some people had a question about the naan. So you can make it yourself, which is a class in itself, or you can buy it from the store. You can heat it on the stovetop directly. You can buy a little grill type of utensil you can put over the stovetop to heat it and then put the naan on top of this. Or you can microwave it for about 15 seconds. So that's how you can warm up the naan, various ways. You can put it on the barbecue as well if you want. Somebody suggested that.
Is the other option from your house?
Then yesterday you should have prepared the butter, melted butter with the garlic and parsley. And then you can spread this on the warm naan, basically. And it should turn out like this.
There are some more questions, but I'm going to have Tammy just pop on real quick.
Sure.
And say a few messages. Tammy, the screen is yours.
Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? All right, here I am. So Dr. Singh, thank you. What an incredible opportunity this has been. And also thank you for sharing with us your culinary talents, and you're delighting us with your creativity. And I can't wait to eat. We're all ready to plate our food, and I'll definitely take a picture. We're extremely and especially grateful for the donations that you inspired in your matching gift that will double the impact. I know that the RAMS team's really excited about upcoming projects that'll be really impactful for patients and funded by these donations. For all the participants, thank you for your generous donations, and we're interested in your feedback and suggestions. We'll be sending you the link with the recording of today's class, and we'll include a brief survey so that you can tell us how we did. Congratulations, Dr. Singh and Kendra, for collaborating and hosting this amazing opportunity for our community.
No, I think this was a great idea. Thank you for the foundation for suggesting this. And again, it's one of my passions in life to cook, and I like the creative aspects of cooking, and I think it aligns with multiple aspects of my life. Surgery is all about creativity sometimes in emergency situations. So, you know, cooking, I can't thank my mom enough in terms of the skills or the basic skills she instilled. And yeah, kudos to her and my father as well, like in terms of establishing that foundation to be creative with things in life.
A lot of folks saying thank you. When's the next event?
You know, pre-COVID, I was going to have classes at my place, you know, every 6 weeks or so. But I think this is a great alternative. And we can certainly, moving forward, have periodic classes of, you know, different meals. And I'd be more than happy to participate. If people want to see my puppies, I'm going to go grab them. This is Hugo.
Is that your shoe? That's my shoe.
And then I'll see if Victor will come on.
Victor's got my shoe.
This is my big one.
Everyone's very happy and loving them.
Well, enjoy your dinner. Hopefully the flavors turned out. I make it usually spicier, but to start, I think this is a great set of flavors in terms of to the novice person, or even for somebody who doesn't eat too much in terms of Indian food. So enjoy, and we'll see you again.